Welcome to our Thursday night Music for Vermont part of our campaign, Zuckerman for Vermont, where we listen to all kinds of different musicians from across Vermont, different styles, different characters, different just wording, different everything. We've been really enjoying it here at my house, and I hope you've been enjoying it in your living room or bedroom or kitchen or wherever it is you listen. We've had it on during dinner. We've had it on after dinner. Just a lot of fun. If you have missed any of the concerts, there's a whole bunch of them on the YouTube channel, Zuckerman for Vermont. If you just want to put something on and listen to some tunes for an hour, go back and listen to some of our great performers that we've already had playing. Would love it if right now you're up for sharing it on Facebook, help expand how many people get a break and just get some free music tonight and listen and maybe consider supporting both the musician and my campaign. Again, these musicians are out of work. They are unable to perform in bars, or unable to perform at weddings and other things. And so we're trying to raise a little bit of money for them as well, help make them some money. And so we're splitting all of the proceeds from tonight 50-50 with Rik Palieri, tonight's artist, and our campaign. I've known Rik for a long time. He's a great guy. Lives actually right here in town that I live in Heinsberg. He is a long accomplished and talented singer-songwriter. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He's a storyteller. He's a member of the Mythical Order of the Rose Tattoo. So there you go. He lives life to the fullest and musical life as well. He's recorded 8 albums, and he's actually an occasional writer for Sing Out. It's a banjo newsletter, and he's author of the book, The Road is My Mistress, Tales of a Roustabout Songster. So he's done a lot of different things. And one of the things that I love talking about Rik about is that he's performed with a lot of different legendary American folk musicians. One of my favorites forever, Pete Seeger. I'm sure many people are familiar with Pete Seeger. He's also played with Tom Paxton, Jimmy Driftwood, Utah Phillips, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, and many, many more. So without further ado, for someone who's just done so much, let's listen to Rik Palieri at Music for Vermont.
I'm remembering the days before I went away, way back in the hills of old Vermont. And the orchard on the hill, I think I see it still, way back in the hills of old Vermont. For tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun, near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. There used to be a barn near the old fishing pond, way back in the hills of old Vermont. So many fields of hay now gone with yesterday, way back in the hills of old Vermont. For tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun, near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Well, everything has changed, nothing stays the same, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Like the old brown panther's roar, you won't hear that no more, way back in the hills of old Vermont. For tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun, near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. But when the rains came down and flooded many towns, way back in the hills of old Vermont, all the people lent a hand for the loving of the land, way back in the hills of old Vermont. For tonight I long to be where the catamount run free and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun, near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Hi, this is Rik Palieri here, and I'm really happy to spend this time with you and sing a few songs and talk a little bit about Vermont and David Zuckerman. And, you know, it's really an honor to be here for David. David's a neighbor, doesn't live too far away. And I had a chance to drive around with him one day. We went all the way down to Springfield, Vermont together. And I can tell you from that ride, I could tell how committed David is to his work, because he was on the phone, working, talking with people, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to talk with people. We spent the whole day in Springfield and went into the police station, and we sat down in the police station and talked to the police officers. That's the kind of communicating that's so important these days, is people coming and listening to one another. And I think that's what David does so well. So I thought it would be kind of fun to share some music and some storytelling. That first song that I wrote about the hills of Vermont, it was about the whole idea about how Vermont is constantly changing. But we don't want Vermont to change too much to lose some of those things that are so important, like the animals losing their habitat. And the reason that I wrote that particular song was thinking about the catamount, and how the catamount, you know, even though we all say that it's extinct, there's a lot of hunters that still say that if you go out into the woods and you are out there when the snow is really deep, that you can see some of those catamount prints. So that's the idea, is maybe we didn't get them all. Maybe somewhere out there is still a catamount. Though I don't know if I want one in my backyard, but maybe. Well, I really enjoy playing music. I spend my life playing music. This pandemic has been kind of really interesting, because it's made me stay home a lot more. You know, usually I'm out there on the road. I spend a lot of time over in Europe and different places around the world. And whenever I'm on the road, I always talk about where I live in Vermont. And the other cool thing about that song about the hills of Vermont is it talks about the loons. And right here in Heinsberg, we have some loons on Lake Iroquois. Really wonderful to know that we're living together with some of the wildlife, all the birds that are around our house. Well, this song is another song that has some real Vermont roots to it. I was out on the road, you know, and learning how to play the Native American flute, which I'll play in a little bit. And I really wanted to learn a little bit about storytelling. And so I started talking to different people out there on the road. And then I got home and I found out one of the best storytellers was right here in Vermont, Wolfsong. Now, I know that some of you out there remember Wolfsong. He's not with us anymore, but he had a big impact on a lot of us. And we worked out a deal. He said, Rick, I'll tell you some stories, but I want you to teach me how to play the flute. So that's how we became friends. We're sharing music, sharing stories. And when he passed away, I realized that not enough people remembered his name. And I wanted to do something in the tradition so that people would think about Wolfsong. So I went out over there, the Snake Mountain over in Virgins there, in Addison. And I remembered when Wolfsong's ashes were scattered on Snake Mountain. And I looked up to the top of the mountain and I remembered that moment, and I remembered how he would tell a story. And if it was a long story, he would always say, "Hey." And if you were still listening, you would reply, "Ho." And I started thinking about that. Hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. On Snake Mountain in the Vermont hills, high above the mountain ridge, after midnight, when the moon's in spring, you can hear the wolf's song sing. Hey ah 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 hey. Oh. Hey ah 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 hey. Oh. He was a man. He walked this land. And he came from Abenaki clan. He shared his stories, he shared his soul, reaching out to young and old. Hey ah 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 hey. Oh. Hey ah 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 hey. Oh. He held the legends, he kept the lore, and was welcome at every door. He heard the calling of the loon, then he left with the daughter of the moon. Oh. Hey ah 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 hey. Oh. Hey ah 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 hey. Oh. Now the journey in this world is through, but he still lives in me and you. Like Usagabe and all his friends, now his story will never end. No, no. Hey ah hey ah hey ah, we remember. Hey ah hey ah hey. Oh. Hey ah hey ah hey ah, we remember. Hey ah hey ah hey. Oh. Hey ah hey ah hey ah, we remember. Hey ah hey ah hey. Oh. Hey ah hey ah hey ah, we remember. Hey ah hey ah hey. Oh. Wolf song. Yeah, I remember the first time I sang that song, I was in Argentina, and all the people sang along, even though they couldn't even speak English. Well, I do have a flute here, and I wanted to give you a little bit of the flute. That I learned how to play the flute out in Mobridge, South Dakota. I was playing at a school called Little Eagle, and I was playing the show with a wonderful musician named Kevin Locke. And after the show, Kevin invited me to come to his house, and we spent some time. We were in a sweat lodge together, and then he taught me a little bit about playing the flute. And I thought I'd give you just a little idea. been some pretty hard times for so many of us. And I wanted to play that song. To sing you this one. I wrote this song on my mother-in-law's 80th birthday. She wanted to do something special on that day, and so she took my wife, Mariana, and her sister, Heidi, and they all went to the tree nursery. And they brought home a linden tree. We dug a hole in the yard. We planted that tree together. Then she had a little party, and she invited more friends to come. And she went over near the tree and she said, while we're all gathered together, I want to declare my wishes. When my time comes, I want you to take this tired body, I want you to cremate it. And then I want you to scatter those ashes right here on this linden tree. And every time you look outside, you'll see that tree and you'll think of me. And in a way, we'll be able to be together. When it's time to leave this earth, give my ashes to the dirt, dig a hole in a mountain field and plant a tree with me inside. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Shower me with sun and rain till my roots start to grow again. You won't miss me when I'm gone. I'll be with you all year long. I'll be there in the winter, I'll be there in the spring, from the first snowfall till the robins sing, through the hazy days of summer until the last leaf falls. I'll keep on growing true and tall. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. When your children sing and play, let them through my branches sway. Jump and roll in autumn's leaves, carve their names for all to see. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Years will come and the years will go till I'm so old I cannot grow. Then chop me up for wood to burn, but save a seed so I may return. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side. Plant a tree, I'll never die. Plant a tree, plant a tree, plant a tree, and think of me. I'll be standing by your side, and we'll keep reaching for the sky. Plant a tree. Well, I've got a banjo here. And a song. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the chilly winds don't blow. I'm going where the chilly winds don't blow. I'm going where the chilly winds don't blow, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. I'm going where the water tastes like wine, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way. Well, these $2 shoes, they hurt me feet. Oh yeah, those $2 shoes hurt my feet. Well, those $2 shoes hurt my feet. Oh Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, Lord. Ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where those chilly winds don't blow. I'm going where the chilly winds don't blow. I'm going where the chilly winds don't blow, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. One more time. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad. I'm going down that road feeling bad, Lord. I ain't gonna be treated this way. No, I ain't gonna be treated this way. Old song, going down the road feeling bad. And that's, you know, a lot of people these days, they are going down that road feeling bad. They're going down that road feeling bad because they feel like the life that a lot of people have, they never had a chance to have. And I know that a lot of you folks out there, and David too, have all been thinking about what's going on with Black Lives Matter and what we can do to try to make things a little bit better. Now here in Heinsberg, we had a little march for social justice. And I want to say that it turned out to be a lot bigger than anybody thought it was going to be. I think because so many people care about the issue. There was almost 300 people there. It was led by the students, young students, high school kids and grammar school kids and their teachers, and everybody had masks on, and they all had their signs, and they all knew why they were there. They all knew why they were there. They were trying to figure out a way that all of us can enjoy the same benefits here. And this song that I'm going to try to sing for you has a really interesting story. It's a song that you all know, but you probably don't know that it has an interesting story right here in Vermont. Of course, it's one of the most powerful songs from the civil rights movement. But it was in the early 1980s over in Brattleboro, where they got the news that the Ku Klux Klan were coming here to Vermont to have a rally. Now you can imagine that didn't go down too well, and a lot of the peace activists and farmers and students, they all got together and they were trying to see what they could do to stop them, but the Klan had a permit, they couldn't stop them. So they set up their little PA system, and they were all dressed in those white robes, and they started spitting out those words of hate. Now the protesters, they couldn't do anything except use their voices. And things were getting bad, and at one point somebody threw a firecracker. Now all the police were on alert, and everybody started getting really anxious. And then it happened. One person started singing, "We Shall Overcome." And then another person, they heard it and they started singing, "We Shall Overcome." And then another and another, and they all joined hands and made a circle around that stage. And they started singing louder and louder until their voice was drowning out that PA system that the Klan had. And the Klan packed up their sound system, went into their bus, and that was the end of that. 20 minutes early with this song. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. The whole wide world around, the whole wide world around, the whole wide world around someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. One more time, then David will come on the screen and talk to you a little bit. So let's sing it one more time for all the people all around Vermont who believe justice and freedom for everybody. Here we go. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome
Hey everyone, welcome back to the break. This is just great music, and Rik, thank you for really bringing social justice music to the fore right now. So important as we're in this tumultuous time, fighting for racial justice and equity, much like many of American folk music was doing in the 60s with the civil rights movement and the peace movement. Music can often lead the way in social movement moments. So thank you for playing some of those tunes. If you're enjoying this concert, I hope you'll head over to zuckerman4vt.com/music4vt. That if you can donate, it'll help out Rik while he's not able to do performances in public, and it'll help us out with our virtual events on the campaign. Help us run this campaign, get out in front of people through all sorts of curious new ways in this strange time we're in. So if you're able to help out, go to zuckerman4vt.com/music4vermont. While Rik's taking a little bit of a break, maybe having a little water or something to wet his whistle, I want to talk about voting, and in particular, mail-in voting. Voting is going to start quite soon. The primary is coming upon us on August 11th, and folks can actually vote by mail starting on June 26th. And in Vermont, we're really lucky to have a leading Secretary of State Jim Kondos, and the legislature that are working to make sure Vermonters have access to safe ways to vote, both in the August primary, which is on the 11th, and in the general election in November. The Secretary of State for the primary is going to mail out a postcard to all registered voters so that you have an easy opportunity to request a ballot for the primary. And we're working towards mailing ballots for all of voters in the November election. But in this election right now in the primary, it means if you're registered to vote, you're going to receive a postcard from the Secretary of State. And that postcard, if you send it in, is going to allow you to apply for a mail ballot for the primary and or the general election. If you choose to ask for a mail-in ballot, you have a number of options in ways you can submit the ballot. You can either mail it back into your clerk's office in the postage paid envelope that will come with it. You could bring it in person to your clerk's office any day leading up to the election, or you can bring it to your clerk's office or polling location on the day of the election. So you have a lot of options on how to return it, but you do have that option with that postcard to have it mailed to you so that you can vote safely and keep your own health and your neighbors and the poll workers healthy if possible. I know this is going to be a new way of voting for a lot of folks. So if you have any questions, you can call out to the Secretary of State's website, and you can also register to vote on the Secretary website at sos.vermont.gov/elections/voters. That should be up on the screen. You can also contact my campaign or my office at the Lieutenant Governor's website for more information on how to vote and participating in our democracy. Finally, I want to thank you again for tuning in, supporting Rik Palieri tonight, supporting us on the campaign tonight. And I want to just mention as we close out here to get back to Rik, starting next week, we're going to be transitioning Music for Vermont into a more interactive gathering with some special guests. You're going to be able to RSVP on our website for upcoming gatherings. And as always, thank you for everything you continue to do to keep Vermonters safe during this pandemic. Again, if you're able to contribute and help out, you can do so at zuckerman4vt.com/music4vermont. And I hope to see you at these future gatherings. Thank you again, Rik Palieri. Back to you. Let's listen to some more music.
Thank you, David. I hope that you enjoyed listening to David Zuckerman. I'm really proud to be here today for David. and thinking about all the things that are going on in Vermont right now, I started thinking about this song, an old song that my mentor, Pete Seeger, would sing. He recorded it with the Almanac Singers back in the 1940s, 1941. Written by Jim Garland. And the words ring just as true today as they did back then. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. We helped to build this country, mister, while you enjoyed a life of ease. You stole it all that we built, mister. Now our babies, they starve and free. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Call me dumb if you wish, mister. Call me green or blue or red. There's just one thing I'm sure of, mister. My hungry baby must be fed. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. One more time. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Yes, give me back my job again. And one of the things, of course, that goes along with not having the job is homelessness. I was out in Oklahoma at a truck stop, and I saw this young woman. She was maybe 20 years old, and she was panhandling for some food. Now, most of the people, they just kept walking by. They wouldn't even look her in the eye like she wasn't even there. Well, I noticed that she was also looking over to this beat-up station wagon car that was parked right nearby. And inside that car, there were 3 little kids. And they had all their clothes and toys. They were all living in that truck stop, in that beat-up car. Well, I pulled out a little bit of money out of my pocket and I placed it in her hand, and I walked away with her vision stuck in my head. Well, that night, I took my camper van and I was camped out near Okemah, Oklahoma, the town where Woody Guthrie was born. And all of a sudden, this song started coming on, reminding me that some of those folks really need their help, and they're not just ghosts on the highways. Ghosts on the highways, sad souls, so it seems. Ghosts on the highways, lost in American dreams. Sleeping with the trucks in Oklahoma, sleeping 'neath the trees in Tennessee, wishing on a star in California, dreaming of a home that used to be. Ghost on the highway, sad souls, so it seems. Ghost on the highways, lost in American dreams. Please, can you help me? Won't you, mister? I need some gas for my car. My children, they're hungry and they're crying. With love, you can only get so far. Ghost on the highways, sad souls, so it seems. Ghost on the highways, lost in American dreams. In the daytime, I'll be working, just trying to make a little bread. In the nighttime, I'll be walking, ain't got no place to rest my head. My grandpa was a miner. My daddy, he worked in the factory. Me, I'm just a rover. But it's not the life I planned for me. Oh, ghost on the highways, sad souls, so it seems. Ghost on the highways, lost in American dreams, lost in American dreams, lost in American dreams. Well, that's, you know, the kind of world that we're in right now, kind of a crazy world where things don't make too much sense. And I wanted to cheer you up because I've been playing a few songs that kind of sad songs. But you know, I think that that's part of life too, is that we have to address those sad moments in the human condition. But this song here is one of those songs that Pete Seeger sang that gives us a little bit of hope, a little bit of hope. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow rays. It's too soon to die. Some folks want to be like an ostrich, bury their heads in the sand. Some folks think that plastic dreams can unclench all those gritty hands. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow rays. It's too soon to die. Some folks want to take the easy way, poisons and bombs, they think we need them. Don't you know you can't kill all the unbelievers? There's no shortcut to freedom. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow rays. It's too soon to die. Go tell all the children, tell the mothers and fathers too. Now's our last chance to learn to share what's been given to me and you. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shores, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow rays. It's too soon to die. Rainbow race. Well, I got Banjo over here, and I was thinking about this old song. I hope you're enjoying this thing. I'm having a pretty good time here.
I hope you are too. And this is a way for, if you're really enjoying this program, you can add some support to David Zuckerman's campaign. Right here, there should be some sort of a button on there. And so you can take a look at that. Meanwhile, I'm going to just play an old song. It's one of those songs, sometimes these songs, they seem like a simple song. And as you grow through life, they need more and more. And this simple song means a lot to me right now. Maybe it means something to you too. Little birdie, come sing me your little song. It's a short time that I'll be here, and a long time to be gone. Little birdie, pretty birdie, what makes your wings so blue? It's because I've been grieving over you. Little birdie, pretty birdie, what makes you fly so high? It's because I'm a true birdie, and I do not dare to die. It's a wonder that I ain't dead. Little birdie, pretty birdie, what makes you fly so high? It's because I'm a true birdie, and I do not dare to die. Little birdie, little birdie. Well, I was thinking about this song here, trying to fit a lot of things in here on this live stream, and I was thinking about David being a farmer, and thinking about how he might like this song. Dave Mallet wrote the song. See if I can remember it. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low. Gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Need a place to call my own, for the time is near at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way through nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, Someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long. Season them with prayers and song. Mother Earth will keep you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching from a tree, he's got his hungry eye on me. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Gonna mulch it deep and low, gonna make it fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down. Well, I thought I would end today with a song I don't usually sing very often, but I've been feeling it's a song about hope. And originally I wrote it for a friend who was struggling with cancer. I was trying to give him some strength to keep going. But I find that it has lessons for all of us. The ice is all melting and the rivers are starting to flow. The cold winds have ended, now the flowers are starting to grow. The sun is shining on all that's below. Though winter is over, just let it go. We'll look to tomorrow, leave our troubles behind, and strive for new life, though it might take some time. We'll help one another, and we'll make this world shine. We'll look to tomorrow, then dream one more time. When we were younger, we had so many dreams, but the hard times crushed them. Life was not what it seemed. But don't give up on living. Find some strength in your heart. Look to tomorrow and make a new start. We'll look to tomorrow, leave our troubles behind, and strive for new life, though it might take some time. We'll help one another, and we'll make this world shine. We'll look to tomorrow, then dream one more time. Look to tomorrow, and don't be afraid. You can feel yourself stronger
with each passing day. Don't give up the struggle. Don't let up a fight. A new day is dawning. Just get through tonight. We'll look to tomorrow. Leave our troubles behind and strive for a new life. Though it might take some time, we'll help one another and we'll make this world shine. We'll look to tomorrow and dream one more time. Yes, look to tomorrow. Leave your troubles behind and strive for a new life. Though it might take some time, we'll help one another and we'll make this world shine. We'll look to tomorrow, then dream one more time. We'll look to tomorrow and dream one more time.
This is Rik Palieri. Hoping you had a wonderful time here, sharing some songs together, and some stories, and getting a chance to listen to David Zuckerman talk a little bit. I hope to see you again sometime, and until then, we'll sing it one more time, the chorus, so you remember it with me, because we got to keep on dreaming, folks. We got to keep on dreaming, and even in the middle of this crazy pandemic, we have to have those dreams and believe that we're going to get through this. We're going to be okay.
We'll look to tomorrow, leave our troubles behind, and strive for a new life. Though it might take some time, we'll help one another and we'll make this world shine. We'll look to tomorrow and dream one more time. We'll look to tomorrow and dream one more time. We'll look to tomorrow